let's maybe start talking about the specific companies that are doing really well, both in the foreign market and in the Indian market. And maybe we'll start out with, again, the largest, the gorilla in the room, Sun Pharma, a company that's done really well, in terms of getting their factories approved by US FDA. So, would you like to maybe talk us through the history of Sun Pharma, both from a business perspective as well as a price perspective? I know you've been invested in them for a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and Dilip Sanghvi, who is the promoter, founder of Sun Pharma, extremely low profile entrepreneur and created great deal of wealth, very high ethical standards per se. And his journey started by manufacturing branded generics for the Indian market. And they did some very interesting acquisitions early on. They bought Crossland Laboratories and they bought two, three other smaller pharma companies. They bought some US companies or pharma companies in America as well. And then they had this Ranbaxy, which was a very big acquisition for themselves. And that did not really go well because Ranbaxy had many legacy problems. But nonetheless, I think because of Sun Pharma, what it is and its management quality, they were able to absorb it and get out of it. Now, Mr. Dilip Sangvi is a very, I would say, visionary, and he looks many years ahead. And his strategies at in the beginning are difficult to understand. Like when he started exporting to US, you couldn't understand what is exactly happening over there and what the potential is. But they were amongst the first to export generics to the US on a large scale. Then others followed. So the big mantra for Sun Pharma just now is specialty products.
What specialty
Yeah.
products?
So specialty products is actually branded non-generic products in the US market. Okay,
So, like proper branded, patented pharmaceuticals.
yes. So they are actually getting into the turf of a US pharma company.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
wow,
dangerous
that's
place
wow.
to be.
Yeah, but they're not looking at big ticket products. They're looking at smaller products. Could be in skin care, eye care, you know, hair fall, stuff like that. Which are niche markets. Okay, some of the brands they've acquired, some of the brands have developed themselves. They've got some amount of patent protection, not completely, and they're trying to grow those specialty products business through feet on the ground, through better communication to the doctors, trying to find alternative uses of the same product. And it's a whole host of, it's a very long term strategy. But what it protects is that eventually, once you've got that product in place, you've got it branded, you've got that following from the doctors, then it can scale up really well. And at least you have got the pricing power over there. So the margins are higher once the R&D costs are over and done with. So Sun Pharma is gradually trying to increase its percentage of revenues from the specialty products. Right now, I think 15-20% or so, but it'll keep on going up. So then they crack US and they go to Europe, rest of the world with the same product. So that is their strategy. Focus on India. India is like a cash cow for Indian pharma companies. You just keep on launching new products and it generates the cash flow. But the growth comes from, as I said, for
Foreign
Sun
markets.
Pharma, from specialty products, and before that from US generic exports.
From what you described to me so far, it seems like they started out at the bottom end of the value chain, providing generics for the Indian market, and they've moved a layer up.
Yeah, absolutely. You said it really well. Let's go on now.
Yeah, they moved a layer up and they provide generics for the US market, and now they're trying to provide patented, developed solutions for the US market. So they're moving up and up the value chain.
Absolutely. You can imagine that if they're successful at it, 3-5 years from now, 60-70% revenues come from specialty products. Can you imagine what value they will create?
Yeah, then they'll be worth like a full scale American pharma company,
Global pharma
global
company.
pharma company. Yeah, that'd be very interesting to see if it works out. So hopefully our viewers can see a full financial profile, as well as a little bit of the price performance of Sun Pharma on their screen. But where do you think? I mean, initial signs. Do you think the strategy is working out? What's your opinion on where this stock's going to go in the next 3 to 5 years?
First, a disclosure, I mean, as usual, and this is not a recommendation, but these are great companies to have in your portfolio. because what they are attempting to do, if they are successful at it, even I would say 60-70% successful, they will still create a lot of value. They will have a lot of predictability in their earnings. See, as investors, we like the predictability of earnings. Don't you think so? I mean, you want a company which keeps on generating profits year after year, 15-20% higher. We want such companies.
Yeah.
So Sun Pharma could be, one of those classic companies, which if they get the specialty product right, then they can keep on growing gradually. And it's a learning process. They got maybe a handful, 5-6 products, but they can go to 30-40 products. Then what happens? So that is one thing about Sun Pharma, which I really appreciate, the differentiated strategy.
Yeah.
This podcast is produced by Elixir Equities Private Limited, a SEBI-registered research analyst. Registration number INA00004787. The information provided in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered as investment advice. Investment in securities market are subject to market risk. We strongly advise all investors to read all related documents carefully before investing.